Look at this. This is without the file installed, and we were at 70% overall CPU, 173 degrees, and about 16 gigabytes of free RAM. And then with the file installed, we had almost 22 gigabytes of RAM, only 26% CPU, and we were down to 150 degrees. Like, that's huge. That is so huge. Hello, fantastic creatures. I'm Fantasims, and welcome to my channel. What if I told you there is a file that exists that can end your Sims 4 game lag woes? Well, it exists, and I discovered it today. This file I'm showing you today increases the quality of your in-game graphics, as well as increasing performance. I know, sounds too good to be true, and I feel like I'm giving you a shady sales pitch, but no, this is legit true. Improved definition and improved performance, it is insane. So I said my next video would be this mega build challenge where I use every build, buy, and debug object from the new Cottage Living in one build. Yeah, well, the recent patch update after the pack came out rendered my build unplayable. I can't switch over into live mode to playtest it, and I can't figure out why. People have been trying to help me on Twitter and we can't figure out what it is, so that video is postponed. But while I was depressed and dying a little inside over the loss of my build, I came across news of this one little file created by Simp for Sims. You can see this website here, and I will put a link in the description below for where you can download this file. And basically, like this says in the instructions, this is not a mod, it's not reshade, it is the first and only file of its kind, and it basically enhances the GraphicsRules.sgr file, which I'll show you in a second what that is. And what they've done is they've improved all of these. That's a list here. We're not going to go over it, else this video will be way too long, so you can read the details. So I tried this file out today, and guys, this has changed everything. If you're like me, your Sims 4 game has been becoming laggier and glitchier with every update, pack, and patch this year. It has gotten so bad that all the builds I created last year, and even the beginning of this year, I can no longer work on. Like, I literally can't even move stuff around on the lot anymore. So it's obviously not my computer, because it was fine a few months ago, but it's the game itself. Okay, so let's quickly look at my computer specs to get a frame of reference for where we're starting from. So I'm on an iMac, and it's 9 years old. She's old, but she's no potato. She can still pack a punch. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a late 2012 iMac, a 3.4 gigahertz quad-core Intel i7. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. My graphics could be a lot better. It's only 2 gigabytes. I know a lot of newer computers are running off of 4 gigabytes. I'm not a computer expert. I don't know everything about computers. And I switched over my internal hard drive to a Samsung T5 external solid state drive, so it runs a lot faster. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how this file works. I'm on an iMac, so of course it's going to look different. But if I click on my computer, I go into users, that's me, go into applications, right click on my Sims game, and show package contents, click on contents, go into resources, the GraphicsRules.sgr. If you open this file, you'll see all this list. And there was actually a way, I learned about it at the beginning of this year, where you can actually change the resolution of the game manually. I forgot where it is, it's somewhere down here. Oh, I think it's right here. So like, I always have my game on very high setting. Oh no, it's not that one, sorry. Object quality, here it is. So if you go to object quality, it depends on if in your game you have your game set to low, medium, high. I always play on ultra, and so setting high, I can't actually remember if this is the right line right here. I don't know, I might be in the wrong section, whatever, but basically it was like you could manually change this to 2048 and improve it, because they dropped the high setting to a lower quality. So if you had a powerful enough computer, you could change these settings yourself. But instead of messing with all the original files, because you can also change some other things like how the lighting works, and instead of messing with the original files for all you scaredy cats who are like, don't touch my game files, don't worry. Simp for Sims has created a copy of this original file, and they have spent hours upon hours adjusting the settings. So anyway, I'm back on the website where you can download it, and it's literally just this one file. You just click on it, download it. I'm just going to move this over to the side, and then you can just drag it onto your desktop. I know Windows works a little differently. So this is a copy of that original file that sits inside of your game. So now I'm going to show you how to install it. So you're not going to need this game application that we went into over here. Instead, you're just going to go into your regular Sims 4 game file. Okay, so I've jumped over to the other side of the screen, and if I click on here, go documents, electronic arts, double click that, Sims 4, double click that. And real quick, something I like to do just to keep my game clean, because some of you might not know this, is you can actually delete these files. So delete the avatar cache, local thumb cache, notify glob, man I can't talk today, or ever. I always mumble my words in these videos. Okay, it didn't do it, okay. select all of them, and then I can just delete them. And I always keep my cache folder clean because I tend to play my game in offline mode anyway. So over here, you can see this ConfigOverride folder. I already have this file in here because I added it earlier. But basically, you're going to put this copy that Sims created into this ConfigOverride folder. And what happens is your game will read this file instead of the original game file. But don't worry, the original file is still in your game. It's just being ignored by the game while you have this new version inside the ConfigOverride folder. So if you decide when you go into the game you don't like how it looks, no worries, just exit out of your game and take this file out, and your game will go back to reading the original file next time you load up the game. Okay, so let's give this bad boy a whirl. Now we're going to first test it out without this file. So actually we're going to go into ConfigOverride and we're going to remove it so that I have literally nothing, just a vanilla game. Alright, so here is a build I am working on currently, a little medieval village, and as you can see the camera is quite jumpy. There's a lot of objects on this build. I think the biggest deal is like how objects pop when you get closer or further away. Like see how they kind of like change when you go in and out. I don't know if that will change with the file added or not, but I think I mean it's on ultra definition, so the detailing isn't too bad, but I think the edges are like slightly blurry. So yeah, you can just kind of get a sense of it's just not very fluid in the movement. This is a very intense build, so I don't know if that's going to improve that significantly with the new file added. We will see. Okay, I've loaded up a simpler build because of course my more intense builds are going to use way more CPU, but I wanted to see where my CPU is at on a simpler build, and we are at 70%, which is definitely not great. I mean, throughout the whole time I've played Sims, the past 2 years, my CPU was always like, actually at first it was less than 20%, and then last year it reached 20 to 25%. I mean, 70 is just absolutely ridiculous. And we have 16 gigabytes of RAM available, so just over half. And we are running quite hot, but I also don't have my fan on because it makes too much noise for recording. But anyway, let's see how it looks on a simpler lot. This is just me trying to create some random objects, but because it doesn't have as many things as my other lot, I thought we might get a better sense of movement. I mean, it is quite smooth, but there is a bit of jumpiness to it here and there. Like it's a bit choppy. Like it starts off smooth and then it gets a bit choppy. I don't know if you can really tell. And then if you look at the object quality, it's not bad. A little bit pixelated, and it kind of has a grainy texture to it more than anything. I feel like regular vanilla Sims has more of a grainy texture to the tops of everything. Despite how much CPU is being used, my camera actions are still pretty fluid on this lot, but again, that's because there's not really that much on it. Let's switch over to daytime, and we can see that there is a very pixelated edge around the shadows. I'm assuming that's probably going to crispen up when we add the file. So yeah, a little bit of lag on this simpler lot, but again, it's running at 70% CPU, which is crazy town. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so we are on this farming lot and we have a ton of animals, and so we've got all these cows, chickens, llamas, and 8 Sims because I wanted to try and see how much lag that would create. And the camera is not moving very smooth. Things are looking a bit blurry when you rotate the camera. The sim textures aren't terrible. They're good. I mean, the graphics is really high. I mean, we're on ultra graphics, so it's going to look a lot better. So it's not terrible, but for me, it's the lag. I just can't stand this lag in the game. The camera is very slow moving. It's not too bad actually right now. I think because this build is quite simple, but it doesn't have as many objects as I normally do, but there is some lag with moving the camera around. It doesn't feel very smooth. It like bumps every now and then. The animals are looking pretty crisp. That sounds gross saying that about animals. I apologize. It's not so bad. The shadow is very jagged. So let's log out, add the file, and see if we notice any improvements. Okay, wow, yes. The movement is so much more fluid and everything looks a lot brighter. Just the camera movements are just so much more fluid. For me, that's the most important thing. The only thing that you'll notice is like the shadows disappear when you zoom out. Isn't the end of the world for me if it means that I use way less CPU. So yeah, like if you zoom in and out. But notice how the objects don't change sizes. So these things, whenever you size them up, these roof pieces, like we saw earlier, when you zoom in and out, they change shape. But with this file installed, look, they're not changing shape. They're staying exactly the same shape. They're keeping their rounded shape. Normally they turn all square and weird shape looking. Sorry, my descriptive words are terrible. If the movement has improved so much on such a heavy lot, like doing this without tons of lag, like it was lagging before. I'm interested to see what it will do on a simpler lot. Okay, so I've loaded up and we are using an overall CPU load of 26%. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we've got almost 22 gigabytes of free RAM, which we did not have without this file installed. So we're back on this lot and already it's looking so much more vibrant, and look at that fluid movement. Wow, it's like butter. It's so fast and smooth. Now, of course, the actual quality, oh, look at that. I'm getting distracted. Oh, look how much I can spin it. It feels so fluid. That's so cool. And the quality is probably not going to show up as great on a YouTube video because YouTube has a tendency of pixelating my videos. If you're trying to take a screenshot of your build from like really far away, that might irritate you, but I mean, most of my work when I'm recording videos of me building, most of my work is up close detailing. So for me, it's not that big a deal. And if I want a far off shot, and I can always log out the game, uninstall the file, come back in, take a screenshot. To me, it's worth it to drop the CPU and the RAM by that significant amount, and just how fluid and vibrant everything looks. And if we go up close, just how crisp all the edges are, the details just look so good. Oh, look at that wood grain, none of that pixelation around the edges. Everything is looking so smooth. Oh, and just look at that. It just feels so good to spin everything around and for it to feel just so smooth. Whee! In and out. Oh, I love it. I haven't been able to do this fluidly for I don't even know how long. Since I first started playing 2 years ago. This feels so cool. Sorry if it's giving you visual whiplash. But it feels so cool to be able to just spin it around and for it to move so smoothly. Oh, I love it. Okay, so now we're play testing it. I mean, we have a big lot full of tons of animals, and we've still got those really nice fluid movements. There doesn't seem to be any kind of lag happening. Oh, it's just, for me, it's the feel of the camera. It's just the feel of everything just moving so smoothly. I just love how it feels. So really, you have to just test it out for yourself. There's no way that you can really properly see what it looks like before and after. On YouTube, it's just not going to be the same. But Simp for Sims does have a video showing before and after, side by side. They have much better video editing skills than I do. So they actually have the video of going through the different worlds and showing you the subtle but really cool differences between before and after using this. Oh man, look how shiny his hair looks. It just looks so good. I don't know if you can really tell in this video I can see it in my game. But anyway, it's looking good. Look at this. This is without the file installed, and we were at 70% overall CPU, 173 degrees, and about 16 gigabytes of free RAM. And then with the file installed, we had almost 22 gigabytes of RAM, only 26% CPU, and we were down to 150 degrees. That's huge. That is so huge. So for me, this file is worth it just because it takes so much less of a load on my computer. Even without the improvements in graphics, I would definitely want to use this. So yeah, be sure to follow Simp for Sims on Twitter. Check out their YouTube. I'll have all the links in the description below. Show them some love for creating this incredible file and try this file out for yourself. I really hope that it's going to help get rid of the lag for a lot of you guys. I always appreciate your support, and until the next video, guys, I freaking love you.